The Pharisees and Sadducees came to Jesus and tested him by asking him to show them a sign from heaven. He replied, "When evening comes, you will say, 'It will be fair weather, for the sky is red,' and in the morning, 'Today it will be stormy, for the sky is red and overcast.' You know how to interpret the appearance of the sky, but you cannot interpret the signs of the times. A wicked and adulterous generation looks for a sign, but none will be given except the sign of Jonah." Then Jesus left them and went away. So, what do we want from God when we ask for a sign, for a miracle? What's really in our hearts? I think here Jesus wouldn't have a problem giving the Pharisees and the Sadducees a sign, but they came with the wrong motives. They came with this question, give us a sign to show us that we're okay, to show us that we're on the right way, to show us that everything is fine. The Pharisees and Sadducees, they didn't want to look at the condition of their life. They didn't want to look at the condition of their heart, that actually they need Jesus, that actually they're desperate for a miracle of salvation, but they didn't ask for that. They want to see, I'm okay, I'm fine, my life is in order. They were so full of pride because they could not humble themselves and recognize Jesus is there. Jesus will give them salvation. That they tried to make it on their own. And Jesus says here, no sign will be given except the sign of Jonah. Do you know the story about Jonah? He was rebellious. He didn't want to follow God. He didn't want to serve God. But he did it. Only after he rebelled against God, he ran away. God put him in the fish. In the middle of the fish, Jonah cried out. Not for a sign. The days of having a sign was over. He cried out for salvation. He said, okay, thank you, God, that you're going to save me out of this fish. Thank you, God, that you will do miracles. Thank you, God, that you're going to rescue me. He cried out with a thankfulness for salvation. He cried out with a gratefulness that God hears his prayers. And then God saves him. It's not about having a sign to know that you're okay. It's not about having a sign to know that somehow God is there. It's about knowing that actually you're a terrible, rotten person and you need salvation. And the only way that you get the salvation is, don't be like Jonah and be rebellious and run away. But humble yourself. Humble yourself. Cry out to Jesus with a humility, with a desperation in your heart that you know if God does not do it, you won't make it. Don't fall into the trap of being like the Pharisees and the Sadducees and thinking, I need a sign to know I'm okay, because you're not okay. You're never going to be okay if you don't find the grace, if you don't find the salvation. And you only get it really when you humble yourself and realize you need it more than anything. More than being okay, more than having everything the way that you want it, more than being right. You need this salvation. You need it. This is what Jesus is looking for. A humble heart. A heart that is willing to see, I'm not okay. I don't need a sign. I need salvation.